Statistically, only 6% of you are subscribed, so if you're part of the 94% that isn't, please consider subscribing today. Hey ho, SallyBC here, and today I'm doing a video on Transformers Studio Series Scrapmetal. So, again, like all the other ones, this is part of the box set, of the Devastator box set. Now this is the final one, this is the last component, and the next video will be the combination, where I combine them all into Devastator. So, let's take a look at this guy then. He's got this cool little excavator mode, I guess. The arm is on a hinge, so it can move up and down. It can also move here and here. It's got a wheel here and a wheel on the bottom of each tread, so it can move pretty well. It's got a little molded in windscreen wiper there, which is interesting. The detailing on the treads are quite nice. They don't seem to sit super straight, which is a shame, but it's fine. This piece here likes to come out quite a lot, which is a shame. There's this peg here that you can plug things into, but there's not really... I don't have anything on me that I can put in there. So let's compare it to some other ones. Is Earthrise Optimus. You can see how Earthrise Optimus looks pretty similar in size, but really, like, this is a Voyager and this is a deluxe, so he's actually quite a lot bigger. Yeah, doesn't really look it. I mean, I guess it kind of does from the top, but here he is with his fellow deluxe Hightower. See, they look pretty similar in size. Next up, the yellow Voyagers. You got Skipjack and Scrapper. Yeah, it scales all right. You know, the scale isn't great, but it's fine. You know. And next up, the other two Voyagers. You got Mixmaster and Long Haul. Oh, that's detached there. There we go. Mixmaster and Long Haul. The scaling isn't great, but it's fine for what it is. Finally, the two leader class figures. You got Scavenger and Overload. Yep, doesn't look awful. They're so big it's difficult to get in the frame, but you know, you get the idea. They're large vehicles. There's not really much else I can say. So now let's get on to transformation. This guy's transformation is pretty simple. It does have a little bit of parts forming. You want to take this piece and just take it off like that. Put it off to the side. And take this cockpit, unpeg it like that, and then you want to move it up. And this piece will move up like this. This will fold out, move it up. Then these treads will detach from the side and move forward, like that. Then you want to push on this piece here, and it will move this out. Fold the head up, turn it around, pegs back into place. The crotch, you want to move up, plug in, move down the legs. Take these sections, and they just fold in like that. Same on this side, fold in like that. I'm going to take this piece, move it up, and rest it on the back. It doesn't plug in, you just want to leave it. Then you want to come to the legs and twist it round. Same on this side. And then there's a double hinge here, like that. Then you want to open up the foot. Gives him this sort of chicken leg sort of look. Same on this side, like that. And with the arms, this turns around like this, moves down, move up, and then fold this out, fold out the claws. Same on this side, move it around like this, and then this folds out like that. And then you want to take this and plug it in his arm as a shield. And there's Scrapmetal in robot mode. Scrapmetal's robot mode is probably one of the most normal ones in the entire Studio Series Constructicon lineup. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. I do quite like this design. It's not super accurate to his concept art. You know, there was a lot more grey and the claws were quite a bit larger and stuff. But I gotta say, I don't mind it. Now, this guy technically did show up in the film, but for some reason they used Scrapper's CGI model. It's probably because they were short on time and didn't want to have to make an entire new CG model, but hey. The articulation on this guy, his arms can move all the way around like that. They can also move out, and there's also a hinge here so they can move down like that. There's a ball joint here so it can move all around, and there's also a hinge there so you can get a double elbow. His wrists are on a hinge, they can move forward that far and back like that, and the claw piece is on a separate hinge so they can move individually. The head is on a ball joint so it can move all the way around, move up and down, and there's also this piece is on a hinge so it can move down even further as well. And it's got a little bit of head pivot movement. There's no waist swivel, unfortunately. They probably could have put it in, but I understand why they didn't. You know, this guy's got to do a lot of stuff. The legs are on a ball joint so they can move forward that far. This one can only move back that far because of this piece. This one can move further back, move forward that far. There is a swivel here above the knee, I guess. Then this is on a weird knee thing. You could turn the legs around like this, straighten them out, then have it as like a regular knee, you know, but that just kind of looks a bit odd to me. It just doesn't look right. And then the toe is on a bend, and the heel is also on a bend. So you can get some decent poses from this guy. Nothing too dynamic, but you can still get some decent stuff. Of course, the tail, claw, hook, scoop, I guess, is on the same articulation, so you can still move it around and do whatever. But it's not really that useful. I personally think that this figure could be repainted into like a vehicle mode version of Beast Wars Scorponok. Because like, you got the claws and you got the tail. I don't know, I think Kingdom Scorponok is shorter than him though, so... yeah, here he is with Optimus. You can see Optimus is quite a lot taller, even though their vehicle modes weren't that dissimilar. Here's Hightower. I think these two look quite nice together. I imagine them being like close friends or something. I don't know, maybe a pet. Here he is with Scrapper. You see Scrapper is quite a lot taller than him. And then there's Skipjack. No, they don't look too bad. You know, they've both got kind of claws, I guess. Of course, there's Longhaul. No, the two most humanoid, I guess you could say. Oh, I guess Scrapper's quite humanoid as well. Oh, and Mixmaster. Speaking of Mixmaster, here he is. So many, jeez. Yeah, no, they don't look too bad. Their head height is quite similar, which I like. It's just Mixmaster is a lot more bulky. And then, finally, the two leaders. You got Overload, who's a lot taller and a lot wider. And finally, Here is Scavenger. Yep, their head height is actually quite similar. They're pretty much the same height at the head. It's just, you know, he's a lot bigger. Now, if you haven't seen the videos for any of those other figures, or all 8 of those other figures, go and look at the transformations for them. It took me about 10 minutes to transform all of those between the cut after I transformed this guy. This video took twice as long to make as you are seeing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I do really like this figure. I think as a standalone figure, it's really good. It's actually really good. I think it's one of the best because the transformation is really nice and simple, and both modes are really satisfying. I think as individual figures, I think these two are probably the best as just individual standalone figures. And that's probably because these two combine to make one arm, and they're also the two smallest. So that's probably because like all the others have to make like either a large piece of the body, the head, or an entire limb. So that might be why I think these two are probably the best figures. I've heard this guy's quite difficult to find, and online he's like 50 quid. So you're probably better off just buying the box set at that case. But if you can find this guy for a good price, and you're not planning on getting the box set, I do recommend picking it up. I do think it's a really nice figure. But yeah, that's about it for this video. So I guess that's Salut BC out.